Dum 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 dum.
Bum 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 bum. Do you think it's dum or is it bum?
I think it's either of them.
Okay, I always
Yeah.
thought it was bum bum bum,
No, it's
but I know you
either.
say dum dum dum. Okay, cool. So it's either now.
Good morning, CP.
Good morning, Pious.
What's been up?
I drove 250 kilometers in 2.5 hours today, and I didn't plan to do that. I
That's
finished
really
a
cool.
call, not a call, a session, in-person session at 6 a.m. and I went to drop off my client at the gate, and then we were walking around and we were talking about something which I cannot discuss, but something about double reflection. And just as we were crossing here, we saw the reflection of the sun in a glass which was being reflected in the window right behind you. And we were like, oh my god, this is totally a sign of double reflection. Reflection ka reflection. So and then we said that acha, but we can't directly see the sun because we were only seeing the sun as a reflected reflection. This was at 6 a.m. so it was the new sun of the day. It's just coming. It's not, you can't actually see the actual sun. It's so
Yeah.
red at this point that you can directly make eye contact with it and see it.
Yeah.
And after I went to leave her at the gate, I felt like walking a bit more out, and I reached the main gate of the tower, and I looked, and this beautiful red sun was there, and there was just a little hue around it, and I just felt like chasing it. So I quickly came in, took the car keys, and as I just left.
No.
And I didn't plan anything. I just went on the road and I started chasing the sun. And after a point, I took a U-turn, and then
Chasing
I
it
ended up
really quickly also.
really quickly. And then okay, yeah. And then I went on, then I found myself driving. Then I had a desire for the open road, so I found myself going to the expressway. And then the car was just driving at 120, 140 kilometers per hour. It was completely empty. It is a 6 or a 8 lane place. And I was just driving with all 4 windows down.
Oh, that's
So when
amazing.
you drive, you put down 2 windows, right? If you're alone in the car. I had all 4 windows down. I felt like the car was getting a refresh. Towards the end, it occurred to me, if there was any paper or anything in the car, it's gone. I don't even know what's gone. So I don't know. But all windows down, 120, 140, I'm driving in the middle of the highway, and the sun is just there. And it just didn't feel like I needed to stop. And at some point, I saw a car take a U-turn, and then I just took a U-turn, and that some point was 125 kilometers down away from home. And in between, I had a couple of times this thought of, why am I here? What am I doing? But everything else felt so right that I just saw that question come and that question go. And I just drove back, and the whole time I was listening to one song, which is that Anhat Naad song by Kailash Kher. It's called Piya Ghar Aayenge. What a beautiful song.
Wow.
There's a part of it that says, Anhat Naad Bajao Sab Mil. Anahata is your heart chakra.
Yeah.
And your heart is also the only thing that can make a sound without there being two.
Okay.
For anything else, for a sound to exist, there needs to be two. There needs to be one hand and the other hand, and then there's the clap. Or there needs to be one hand and the body, and then there's this slap. And then there is one hand and the drum, and then there are beats. Your heartbeat is on its own. It doesn't, there's no second thing. It's the cosmic power or the very essence of you and the existence of the heart, and these two dum dum beating together is your heartbeat. which beats so many times a minute, more for some people than not. So yeah, that line, Anhat Naad Bajao Sab Mil. Oh, because that's what, when I put out a message saying this is my call to all the seekers, that's what I mean. That there is a sound of your heart. You don't need to listen to any advice outside of you. Look within you. There is a naad, a sound, a vibration within you that's asking you to go somewhere. If you're going away from it, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be disturbed. Just go towards that sound. Oh, but I can't hear it. Oh, but there is money to be made. You think that the thing that can beat itself, or the thing that is making this heart beat, is not capable of taking care of those issues in your life. It is. It may not be in the same way, in the structure that you are used to those things happening in your life right now, because you are going into a new system. Unfortunately, today more people are hooked into this external physical system than they are wired to their internal system. Which is why when you take the U-turn and go the right way, then everybody will point at you and say this person is going the wrong way. But that's because everybody else is going the wrong way, or most people are going the wrong way. So that's why there will be some initial adjustment period where you will find your footing. But if you keep going, oh, so beautiful. Anahat Naad, you will feel it. And that feeling, anything good right now that you people get, please tell me, does it not go away from you? It goes, no?
Yeah.
So this won't go. Anahat Naad won't go. It's makes my heart happy and sad and joyful, and don't take sad in the wrong way, like melancholy. Oh, it touches my heart in a way. Check out the song. I have shared it on my WhatsApp also yesterday. In a song a day. अनहत नाद बजाओ सब मिल, सब अपना अपना अनहत नाद बजाओ, फिर देखो क्या होता है इस दुनिया में. Oneness.
It's really amazing. It's just beautiful to see how much you're smiling and how alive you are when you're saying all of this also right now. When you're saying this right now, you are seeming so alive.
Because it's Anhat Naad. It's Anhat Naad.
Yeah. And it's actually so funny, like when you see a lot of the music, a lot of the things that are in movies, they say listen to your heart, they reference this thing, but it is so like out there and you don't really understand what that means in a deep way. And I think you're like talking about that.
It's just that. Listen to your own heart, listen to your own heartbeat, listen to the sound, listen to where your heart is taking you. It's taking you somewhere, it wants something. It is also a calling, like you have a calling to go and have material pleasures in the world. I also have that calling, by the way. Let me be very clear. But the path to reach that calling is not from inside out, but from outside in. What is the direction? आप कान तो सीधा भी पकड़ सकते हो और उल्टा भी पकड़ सकते हो ना. मुझे ऐसे पकड़ने में मजा आता है.
Beautiful.
And I want to thank Kailash Kher for making such beautiful music. He has a few other songs also. And I also want to thank him because he supports cows a lot. He does a lot of work for cows. He's associated with some Gaushala. I forget the name right now. But yes, for those two reasons.
That's really lovely. how you also made a reel on the way. In the midst of that speeding, you had a break,
Yeah,
maybe a
just
few
Anhat
breaks.
said stop, so I stopped.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, this is beautiful. And one of them, though, I didn't even stop the car. I was just driving. And as I was driving, I just saw the sun and it looked so good. So I just took out my camera. I was on an empty road, so I was being very safe. If you're driving that fast, please, you must be safe. But there was absolutely nothing else there, and I was right in the middle of the road. And I'm pretty good with my phone.
Yeah.
So with one hand on the wheel, the other hand, left hand was just recording. And I posted that. And the other one was, my heart got overwhelmed, not in a bad way. So I just stopped and I got out. And when I got out, I just took a reel, and all my stories and reels, anything that I share on social media is genuinely first and foremost a note to self. I don't share anything to give gyan to people alone. It's not, hey, look at me, I know this, and take this and be impressed by me. It's none of that ever. It is, I am discovering this, and I am not needing to be private about my discoveries. But it is mostly a private discovery. And if that private discovery speaks to you at that moment, then it is for you also. Then it means that yours and my Anhat Naad, yours and my frequency is matched at this point.
Yeah.
So here, anybody that is on the same vibrational scale, on the same frequency as I am, this is for you.
Yeah.
Just how this was for me. It's a gift from the universe to anybody on that frequency. So the other thing that I shared was the realization that I was having myself, that I am expansive, right? I can be sitting at home. What time was I back? 8:30 a.m. By 8:30 a.m. in the morning, I've driven for 2.5 hours, and I've taken a session, and I have woken up before that, and I have meditated by myself and taken a quick shower, a quick wash. Now all of this, and I know there are people who haven't even woken up by this time. It's not a comparison. I'm saying that you are so expansive that one day you could be sleeping till 9 a.m. and one day you could by 9 a.m. achieve so much.
Yeah.
And that on one month will go by and you will be like, oh, I wasn't productive at all. And one weekend you will cover more than you could ever cover in a month.
Yeah.
You are expansive. Stop putting yourself in boxes. Stop putting yourself under labels. Stop. You're not ingredients from our pantry that are to be well labeled and organized and kept in place. You are a being. You be, no. So, yes, because I talk to a lot of people all the time. Like to a person with a hammer, everything is a nail. So to a coach, everything, I can just see people, and I can, even day-to-day people. So my clients will pay me to tell them to not fuck up. But the other people are not paying me, so I won't tell them to not fuck up, right? But I can see in their words, in the way they talk to themselves, about themselves.
Yeah.
This is not a judgment call. I'm not saying, oh, look at you, look at you. I'm saying you're talking down to yourself all the time. Even I do that. And in that moment, I realized I am so vast and expansive.
Yeah.
And it was a reminder to not forget something like that, because this is precious. This doesn't go. I forget, but it doesn't go. Like when you meet somebody and you have a good time with them, you forget that also. But then the next time when you remember, it is less impactful, and the next time you remember, it is even less impactful. Over here, it's completely different. Each time you remember, it is more impactful and more beautiful and more giving. Anhat naad bajao sab mil.
And I feel like
it's just running that line in my head.
Yeah. You've been on a spree of sharing a lot what you're saying online. And
so I'm sharing.
Yeah. And what I find, and I think you've kind of explained a little about, it's just coming from your heart, these things. Because I see I am fascinated by the ease at which you do these things. And for anyone hearing, Chetna, all the questions are ask her, she doesn't know them.
No.
They're unprompted always. And the reels that you make yourself also, you record on the app itself.
Yeah. There's no recording, there's no editing, there's no re-recording.
Yeah, there's no re-recording also. That's another thing also.
Because it's my anahat naad.
So that I love that. I never imagined that people are like that, really, right? That they are just, you can speak openly. I thought social media is the curated, you have an editor, you have to do edits and stuff, and you're posting stuff that I find so powerful also. I'm sure so many people find powerful. The people that are vibing at the same level, right?
Frequency.
I love it. Yeah.
I love it too. I love it because this is what I wanted to do. But like I have said, all my life, me lazy. So me don't like to write scripts, don't like to record, then put makeup and then be like, oh, this is like this. And then have an editor send me something back. And then be like, oh, and then never be sad. This is not the game I'm capable of playing. It's not the game I engage in on any topic in my life. Nothing.
Yeah.
So the fact that this is happening like this, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's work. You do your inner work. You touch a core within yourself where it's like, everybody must have heard about KBC.
Yeah.
So after every fifth question, you've reached a padao, right?
I was wondering what connection you're going to make.
So maybe from question 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, you may have some doubt and fear. But after you go to question 6, you're like, yeah, bring it on. I'll use all 3 of my lifelines at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like that. You reach a certain place from which then you won't return. And that's the beauty of inner work. It's solid. It's solid. What else would you use for this padao analogy?
It's just you reach, like you're climbing up a hill and then you reach one place that is now a stable place.
Yeah.
Now from this point, if you fall down also, you will fall down at this place only,
like
and then you get to the next one.
Also. When we went on top of the Burj Khalifa, I thought I've reached the top, and then I looked behind, and then there was a structure still as tall as when I was on the ground floor. It's like that. And this journey is also like that. You will reach a padao, you will reach question 5, and you've made what? 3,20,000 or 6,40,000, one of the two. No, it's not that much. It's 1,000, 2,000, 40,000. Some small amount you'll reach, and you're like, oh my God, I've reached a padao. And then you're like, wait, but I can go up to 1 crore or 7 crore. And that's, I'm thinking of Amitabh Bachchan so much right now. God. So you'll reach a certain level, and then you'll think, oh, I've reached a level, and then you'll realize, wait, this is just the starting of a whole, there's as much to go, because the work is infinite. So KBC stops at 15, but this doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It goes on and on and on. So.
Lovely.
Da 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 da.
Yeah. I think we should end with that sound.